We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Talk health. Talk wealth. Talk politics. Talk 1470 and 95.3 FM. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you have a hot new business or an established business that offers great and unique services or products that you want to get the word out? Are you looking to grow your business and you want everyone to hear the buzz about it? Do you have an amazing project or an idea that impacts our community that you want to share and get others involved in? Then you've come to the right place. You're listening to Community Connections with Norma G. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero, and I want to share our passions while connecting with our community. So now let's get ready to hear about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening on Community Connections with Norma G. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Good afternoon or good evening. Thank you so much for coming back to Community Connections. It is Monday, May 15th, 5 p.m., and it's so nice to be with you guys all again. And so you can find us on 95.3 FM or at 1470 AM. And if you're still in your office or you're at home, you can watch us live at Community Connections with Norma G. You can also catch us on, if you don't have Facebook or if you're not in your car or get to your radio, you can also catch us on your iHeart app at 1470 WNN. And I have a very, very big show scheduled for you today, so tune in. We have a lot of fantastic guests. First and foremost, we have a paralegal from Elder Law PA, Miss Shelby Cobrin. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about long-term care and asset protection and how to be able to afford the care that you're going to need as maybe you have an aging parent or yourself looking into the long term. And so she's going to teach us a few tricks and how her law firm is able to help you with doing that. So that way you can get that care that you need for independent living, assisted living, or home care, whatever it is that you need. She's going to break it down for us. So I'm looking forward to that. We also have Dr. Joy Siegel, who is has a doctorate in gerontology. And she's going to be talking about how her services really can help people cope with the process of aging and seniors. So that's going to kind of piggyback off of our first conversation. And then moving forward at the third segment of the show, we're going to be talking about the opiate epidemic, painkillers, pain management, and then we have two people that are going to be talking about alternative pain management options. And I'm really excited about them. We've had them on the show before, and they've come together and to bring their two services together. I have Mr. Phil McKnight of Laser IQ Pain Therapy, as well as Shivani Gupta of Fusionary Formulas, her vitamin supplement. So we're going to talk about that. So we got a lot of options for a lot of different people, whether it's for you yourself personally or for someone that you know. So stay tuned. We're going to learn a lot tonight. And, on a side note, we did have the big event last week with the 100 outstanding women of Broward County for the Boys and Girls Club. It was a very, very successful event. It was an honor to do it, and it was beautiful to see all those ladies and all those children being recognized and everything that they were able to raise and support to continue to provide that aftercare program for the children. So I look forward to actually speaking with them again. I believe we're going to have another one of their events on next week, the Shark Tank event, something about teaching the kids with entrepreneurship. So stay tuned. We have them on, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, a plant-based protein company that's talking about 7.2. So stay tuned. We have a lot going on. So right now I want to introduce Ms. Shelby Cobrin. She is a paralegal with Elder Law PA. Hi, Shelby. How are you today?
Hi, Norma. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I am so happy to have you here, and it's really, really great to meet you.
Likewise.
And as I mentioned to you before, I'm an occupational therapist, so I'm familiar with working with seniors. And when you work in the business and patients just come to you, you really don't find yourself, that concerned overall with, how everything gets paid, because that's what the social services takes care of. But now that my parents are maybe getting a little bit up in age, I am starting to find that, maybe I should start asking these questions of, what plans they have in place. And so, I've never interviewed a paralegal before. I've interviewed an attorney before talking about this subject a little bit. But, I'm curious, how did you get involved in being a paralegal?
Well, actually, I got involved in my family's business, which is VIP Care Management. My mother, Sonia Cobrin, is the founder. And about 2 years ago, our care management company, which was doing Medicaid planning at the time, had to comply with the new law that had passed at the Supreme Court level, which made it so that only elder law attorneys could be practicing Medicaid planning. So our attorney, Ryan Smaller, came on. He owns the firm now. And VIP separated into two: VIP Care Management, dealing with the social work, and Elder Law PA, dealing with the Medicaid, VA, Social Security, disability benefits.
And so who said that only elder care attorneys can be dealing with the Medicaid
Mostly
benefit?
elder care attorneys.
Oh, mostly elder care. So they did the push because of the specialty of
The
it.
Florida bar, really pushed for it. And we were quick to comply because it was just such a big part of what we were doing to help people in the community.
And as far as your background as being a paralegal, how long have you been a paralegal?
3 years.
3 years.
And my background is in psychology. I have a bachelor's in psychology, and my focus was in lifespan development and aging and cognition.
Oh, so you already have that background.
The understanding of, I think, a lot of what people are going through is dealing with mental health issues and dementia. It's really difficult when trying to convince somebody that they need to have a plan and they're not totally on board.
And where did you go to? Are you from this area? Where did you go to paralegal school?
I didn't go to paralegal school.
Or how does that work? I'm not familiar with how that works.
You can go and you can get a certification. I didn't actually do that. And you don't have to, but I went to school at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I got my degree there and quickly moved back home to start working with the family business.
Oh, so all right, great. And so is the attorney that you work for, is that part of your family in that aspect as well?
No, he's not. No.
He's not.
He
Okay.
seems like family now. He's a great guy. He's young. He's 30 years old, and he's very willing to learn a lot about what this community needs. And he's not one of those old rigid attorneys who's already stuck in his ways. He's really open to helping people figure out what's going to be the best situation for them, what's the best strategy. And
well, it always impresses me when I've been in a little bit of a. It's not a bubble, because I've worked in every healthcare setting, from hospital to acute care, from home care, every setting. And you kind of only interrelate a lot with the doctors a bit, and really just other therapists and the nurses. So, through this show, I've been able to meet all these other aspects of the healthcare professionals out there, doing other things that I don't necessarily get involved in. And it always warms my heart to see people in other disciplines to have that care and passion for the LD, for seniors, because it does require a little bit of, their disability in itself requires a specialty patients, but it's certainly seniors as they begin to age. And so when you're specifically an elder care attorney office, I imagine you're going to be coping with a lot of those issues, talking to the families, the children, and those types of things.
Absolutely. They definitely depend on us to be a resource to them. So we stay very involved in the community, do a lot of community education, and that way, whatever problems come up, it's certainly not the first time we've heard of it, and we're able to smoothly direct our clients in the right direction and make sure they're in good hands.
So what types of phone calls do you get coming to your office that someone says, I think I need to, have you guys review my assets and to figure this out? And so what's your first step when you...
A lot of times it's somebody who's been in and out of the hospital, slip and falls, things like that, and they're spending a lot of time in the rehab facilities. And once their Medicare days are over, then if they don't have a secondary insurance, they're coming out of pocket hefty for these healthcare bills. And they can range between $7,000 and $10,000 a month to be in a skilled nursing facility. So once they hear that news, they're really quick to say, what am I going to do? How am I going to afford this? I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have a home, or whatever the situation might be. So in a lot of cases, we have to really determine, is this person eligible for certain benefits? Are they a veteran? Are they entitled to VA benefits? Or is Medicaid a good option for them? Because really this is going to be a long-term plan that they need to look at.
You mentioned when their Medicaid days run out. And so to clarify, if someone's curious as to what that means,
Medicare.
Correct, Medicare. When your Medicare days run out, you have a stroke or a heart attack or, some sort of rehabilitation. You have a rehabilitation need. You go to a rehab, and usually the first 21 days are covered 100% by Medicare. And then after that, it goes 80-20, which is 80% Medicare, 20% your secondary.
Correct.
And that shoots you up to 100 days. And so what she's talking about is after those 100 days, if you can't go back home, and can you help people if they want to go back home with 24-hour care?
Certainly, and one of my favorite things to do is really just, utilizing the whole spectrum of services. Is when you're in a rehab facility, if you're willing to stay there for 60 days, it's about the length of time it would take us to put together an application and get it approved. If you're willing to stay in that rehab facility for those 60 days, then you can actually go home with your Medicaid benefit already in place. And there is a Medicaid benefit at every tier, whether it be home, assisted living, or skilled nursing. So we want to know what your goals are when we're planning with you, because if your goal is to go home, then we want to make sure that you're going to get home with the care in place. Otherwise, you're going to go on a wait list to apply for Medicaid, and that wait list is about 2 years long right now. So we really try to help people to take advantage of the window of opportunity, as much as it doesn't seem like one.
And it's just because you need about 60 days to handle that?
To get the approval.
To get the approval. And so that's an interesting point from your perspective, because from our perspective, from when you're in a rehab facility, and Medicare is, if you have to have the need to stay there 60 days. So you have to be, number one, have the skill, meaning a needy skill, whether it be from a nursing skill or a therapy skill.
Right.
But if you plateau and you're done at 35, 40 days, you can't just kind of, if you will, hang out for 20 days just until your benefit kicks in, because you have to be demonstrating progress or need a skill from nursing. So either a therapeutic need for progress, like I need to be able to walk better or something like that, or, so do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if that's not in place, they just need to just kind of handle the expenses until they're, can you still work on it even if they don't stay the 60 days?
Well, if they can't stay until the application's approved in the facility, then they'll have to go on the wait list. But in a lot of cases, and because of our...
Okay, so you can speed it up because they're in a facility.
Right, it's the way to expedite the process is to stay there. And in a lot of cases, we're actually able to negotiate with the facility, and the facility will be willing to keep them there to keep their census, so that the person can get their benefits.
No, and sometimes we want to treat the patient. We know we have the skill. We know that they can be safer and stronger by the time they get home. They just want to run out the door, and we're saying, no, you should benefit from that, not from all of this aspect of it.
Right.
I'm just looking at it
As
from
much
from a therapy point of view.
Right.
If I can see that you can walk to your refrigerator better, if you can get in and out of your shower safely, and because I'm not into, if you will, milking it, as they say. I'm not involved in that aspect of it as a clinician.
Right.
And so that's where I always give my recommendation, whether they're safe or not safe from that aspect. But that's very interesting. I didn't know that aspect. What's unique about your firm that you feel with your attorney?
I think that what I really pride myself on is our firm's ability to really help guide people, not only through the Medicaid planning process or the estate planning process, but through the healthcare system as a whole, as it can be very complicated, very confusing. There's a lot of really bad information out there. And we take a social services approach to guiding people, whether it be through making referrals to other companies and being a resource, as well as hand-holding. A lot of what needs to be done is for Medicaid has to do with banking and moving finances around, and we'll actually go with our clients to the bank and make sure that their income trust is set up properly and funded correctly, so that there's not any confusion or anything to delay the Medicaid approval process. I think that the quality of service that we provide is just the thank you letters that we get all the time. It just constantly warms my heart, because I know that what we've done is really taken a huge burden off of off of these families and these people who just don't know what to do.
Where's this law firm? Where's your law firm? Elder Law PA. Where's that located?
Lantana. We're actually right across from the old Key Lime House on Ocean Avenue.
What's the phone number and website? You know, if somebody wants to reach out to you and have some questions about their family member.
Sure. Our office phone number is 561-588-7512, and you can visit us online at www.elderlawfl.com.
Fantastic. And so how do you like being a paralegal? What are some of the roles and responsibilities of a paralegal? Other than the obvious, assisting the attorney, but more specifically.
A lot of assisting the attorney. A lot of what I do is meeting with the families and going over their plan with them and helping them to figure out what their needs might be. So I get to work a lot one-on-one with the clients. I do a lot of presentations and community education. I work with a lot of case managers in the hospitals and doctors and as many people as I can get in touch with. I have a lot of freedom to do some networking, which I just think is it's a great way to expand, our network and our community and keep the right people in our
Is it just one attorney in your office?
Yep, just Ryan Smaller.
One. And the other support staff that I saw on your website, those are what types of support staff?
Paralegals and administrative, clerical.
So for one attorney, you need a group of, in order to get all that paperwork done.
Yeah, there's a lot of hands that these applications go through, whether it be, just to make sure that everything was done properly and just a lot of management. There's a lot of people keeping eyes on everything, making sure it's done correctly. And we also have our own DCF caseworker who handles only our cases in Palm Beach and Broward County.
For children and families?
For Department of Children and Families. And that's what also helps us to get our applications approved very quickly.
And so, I heard what you said, Shelby, when you said that you usually get the referrals when the crisis or injury or illness has already happened.
Right.
And at that, it's almost like I don't want to deal with it until it happens. Because you never know.
You never think it would happen.
Or you just hope it doesn't. Or if you do, you just go quickly type of thing. But do you recommend people that, they're aging, they're 75 plus at this point, there's some changes in function. Do you breach that subject with your parent or with your family member or grandparent and say, should we consult an attorney? Or do you ever have referrals like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we do free consultations, so we always encourage people to come in and at least get the information. Ask as many questions as you want. And if you decide you're not ready to move forward, at least you've got, this information. You got the tools in your toolbox, so you know what to do in a crisis.
Is it one of those things where is it easier to manage all that, the finances and stuff? Obviously, in advance than it is when you're just in this 60-day window trying to turn it over real fast?
Absolutely. I mean, if you have a plan in place, you're not really going to run into too many problems. And one of the biggest things that our attorney, Ryan Smaller, would emphasize is that you should have your advance directives in place. You should have your power of attorney, your health care surrogate, your living will, so that all your wishes are known.
It's important.
And that anything that you would want for yourself is in writing, and people can just follow, your wishes, rather than having people scramble and guess when a crisis happens as to what you would have wanted done, especially if you've lost your capacity to make decisions for yourself.
And when you're talking about asset protection, is it something that, if it's something that's done, years out versus right in the center of it, is that something that's it's easier to better, wiser to manage?
It's a good question. The type of asset protection that we do for Medicaid and VA and things like that can be done within the 5-year look-back period, which is kind of the big scary phrase of Medicaid. It should be done and kind of thought about prior to an event, but everything that we do, we use certain legal documents, and they can all be done right away, very quickly, and all the assets can be protected. And there's so many different strategies. It really just depends, what works for you. There's ways to invest in real estate, or to put your money in a certain type of trust, or use a care contract for somebody to take care of you with your money. So there's a lot of things you can do. And I like that you don't have to just do, A, B, or C. You can really pick and choose what sounds good to you. Because, of course, there's tax implications and a lot of other things that you need to be educated about. So we make sure to educate on all the pros and cons and help people to make the decision that's best for them.
Well, one thing I can tell you, even though I just met her, is that I gave her my card, and within 0.2 seconds, she found a typo, which I'm happy about. But that's what the gift of a paralegal is. And so I just wanted to point that out because I think that having, sharp, quick-eyed people is very important, and that's what you do.
Definitely.
So I thought that was just a cute little anecdote because I'm really glad you let me know that. But whether it's long-term care, whether it's home care, 24-hour, whether it's independent living, assisted living, Medicaid, Medicare, estate planning, all that healthcare surrogate stuff, living will, veteran benefits, all those things. It's very complex. We know that it is, but that's why attorneys study law so that they can understand the ins and outs of the finances and what the main thing is to how to get you the maximum amount of benefit to you so that you can comfortably handle, your aging process, not sure exactly where you're going to be depending on the condition. We can't predict the future. That's the bottom line. We know that for sure. And so, Shelby, I want to thank you so much for coming in. I wish that your success and your lawyer, his name again?
Ryan Smaller.
And the email and phone number to find you guys?
You can email me at Shelby, SHELBY, at elderlawfl.com. And the phone number again is 561-588-7512.
Fantastic. Thank you again. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Norma.
And reach out to them. We'll be right back with Dr. Joy Siegel, the gerontologist.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our number one rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. Yes and no. This is your camera. You're going to look into this one. Yes.
Does that mean
Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G. I have Miss Dr. Joy Siegel here in the studio with me. Hi, Dr. Joy.
Thank you, Norma. I'm glad to be here.
It's so nice to meet you. And Dr. Joy Siegel is a gerontologist, and she's a geriatric consultant offering solutions for life's transitions. So we're going to continue the conversation that we just started with Shelby about elder law, and then see what you bring to the care of seniors as well. And the name of your company is Dr. Joy Siegel Senior Solutions. Mm-hmm. That's correct. So, so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. You're doing a great job. Thanks for what you're doing for the community.
Well, thank you so much. And, I was reading your bio and your website, and you have quite a bit of experience. And so I kind of want to, we were just talking about, with Shelby about the an attorney and how they manage the legalities of asset protections and helping people get Medicaid benefits and those types of things. And I'm sure you're very familiar with that aspect as well. But, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got involved in this.
Well, my background was spent primarily in the nonprofit sector. I was a fundraising consultant for about 15 years, and I was also on the radio. I shared that with you. I did public access radio shows for some radio stations, and that enabled me to work with hundreds of nonprofits and really become familiar with social services in the community. And I did a lot of work with the elderly. At the same time, about probably 15 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And even though I was a full-time working single mother of two, I became a full-time caregiver as well. And that really impacted my life. So I had always wanted to go get a doctorate, and I found myself going back to graduate school about 10 years ago. And
what was your master's in?
I have an MBA in nonprofit management.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that really helped me with that career. And I started to take classes in gerontology just because I saw them, and suddenly my life made sense.
Because you were kind of connecting it with your care for your mother.
Yeah.
Was your mother still alive at the time?
My mother, she passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
But thank you. She had a miraculous life. She taught me a tremendous amount. And one of the things that she taught me is that there are solutions. Because of what we went through with her, it was very unpleasant and very uncomfortable and very difficult. Watching someone that you care about, and that your mother, somebody that's supposed to have all the strength and be there for you.
Did she have advanced Parkinson's?
She got it when she was 59. She had it for 22 years. So she had it for quite a long time. At the end of her life, she was in a wheelchair. She was able to feed herself, but cognitively she was okay, which was kind of miraculous.
It's interesting. Last week we had on Rebecca. She is the program director for the
APDA.
That's correct. You know her?
I am actually working with her on a project.
Yes,
I'm volunteering with them.
Girl.
She's terrific.
She came here and shared about her compassion for nonprofits, and also how she's now serving the Parkinson community.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that she and Denise Jordan are at the APDA, and they're just wonderful women. Really, they're such good people in the community. And for people that have been...
They provide, PDA provides the support groups locally here. And so, if you have Parkinson's, and so we were talking about that last week a lot.
Yeah.
So the gerontology, what does that mean, gerontologist?
I'm a gerontologist. I look at the non-clinical aspects of aging. So if I were practicing geriatric medicine, I would be a geriatrician.
In some respects as an occupational therapist.
Right. So you're clinical, I'm not clinical. I really look at how the world and society and our community responds to the challenges of aging.
And so, are you serving the actual individual senior, the family, the child that's trying to take care of their mother, or are you serving the organizations that provide care to seniors?
Okay, the truth is, I'll help anybody that needs help. And,
of course.
And my background really allows me to help organizations, groups, and individuals. I really try to help families and individuals. Oftentimes, it's the children or a neighbor or a friend of somebody who, through somebody else, has found that there are support services available, and they'll get to me and they'll hire me.
And is that like a geriatric care manager?
It's very similar, yeah.
Is it different?
Although most of them are clinicians. Most of them are nurses or social work. I come out of a research background, and so I do a lot of applied research that I've done through NOVA, Case Western Reserve, the National Institute of Health. Right now I'm on a project at Holy Cross Hospital. So we do practical research, and then the solutions that I try to apply to families and individuals are based on the research. So it comes from a little bit of a different perspective, and I think we're all equally important. And when I need a geriatric care manager, I absolutely retain the services of one, because they bring strength and skills to the tables that I just don't have.
And that's because the clinical, from probably a lot of nursing.
A lot of nursing.
With the medicine, wound care, those types of things.
Right. Yeah, all of those things I absolutely need the guidance for. But, with a lot of situations, quality of life issues, and you probably know this with the population you serve, quality of life issues become more of a social and an emotional they're impacted tremendously by our environment and by the non-clinical aspects. What's your environment like? Are you sleeping? Are you around people? Are you isolated? I address those environmental issues and try to resolve them and help people adapt, find a little bit of acceptance. Because, if you can accept where you are, like my mother taught me, if you could, and she didn't consciously do this, but if you can accept where your lot in life, so to speak, you can really find new ways to have happiness. If we sit and dwell on how bad a situation is, and they can be bad, it really doesn't help us. And we live so long, we might as well try to find a way to be happy and comfortable.
It's interesting. I find it fascinating what you do. How are you getting referrals primarily?
I get them from attorneys like Shelby. And I get them from, I have to tell you, most of my referrals have come from contacts I've had through the years who actually saw what I'd gone through with my mother.
And they know that you would be helpful in this scenario.
And they call me, because I was very young relative to a lot of my friends that who are now, their parents are in their 70s. My parents were much older when I was born. And so people saw what we went through and how we kind of made it out the other side. That's not to say we eradicated Parkinson's, because that, isn't very realistic, but we certainly made do. And we learned a lot in those 22 years. So a lot of referrals come from that, from certain primary care physicians I get referrals from. And then I'm involved in the community. I do a lot of networking.
Right, and that's really where it is. Because honestly, just from being around you for 5 minutes at this point, I can tell your spirit. And I can tell your care. And so if I knew you, if I know you and I run into these types of patients, you know what? You should meet with her, let her help you walk and process through some of those things. I can sense, and that's all you need to do is people need to know you.
That's it.
Know you're around. So how does it structurally work? Let's say I were to say, listen, I met this lady, she has a mom, it's not running smoothly in the house, they're having trouble managing everything. How do you how much time do you invest? Is it you visit weekly? Is it twice a week? Is it 3 hours a day? Like what? I know it's probably it's based on individual basis, but really you're not a caregiver. So you're not. Are you sitting there for 12 hours?
Well, basically everybody gets an assessment. So there are occasional situations where somebody need some support services for a few hours. They're visiting from out of town. They need to arrange some caregiving support, maybe get some medical equipment delivered to the house, and would be hourly. But the families that I really get entrenched with, I do an assessment where I evaluate their entire lifestyle, including relationships with children, their level of financial stress, the safety of the home. I look at take care of medical records. I have a nurse that is available when I need that type of support. So we're able to retain those records. We use a pretty wonderful case management system so that we can access our records for our clients wherever they are. We basically the plan of action is based on what's unveiled in the assessment. So we may walk into a house and find out that they're hoarding, or that there are area rugs throughout the house and little steps, and we can create an actual diagram of how to make the room safe. And then the family or the loved ones can address it appropriately, or they can hire me to implement the action plan.
Very, very interesting. And so it's private pay. That's correct.
Yes.
And, when I think of someone that, like a nutritionist, let's say someone needs to change their, people hire nutritionists.
Absolutely. I hire nutritionists. Right,
people hire nutritionists because they want to change what they're eating, what they're putting in their body to make a difference. So when I think of someone like you're like hiring a senior specialist, a gerontologist, that would come in, and because I do home health, and I'll go in, treat the patient, and I see these problems. And I usually will either contact social services or something like that, or I wish I had more time. But that's where someone like you, because it's almost like you're bringing a lot of psychology into helping people adapt. to
I'm not a therapist, but I bring some practical methods.
Well,
and so it's really about
psychology,
empowering.
not psychologist.
You're right.
You bring
I stand
psychology.
corrected. I just don't want to mislead anybody.
My friends use psychology on me. You know what I mean? And they're not psychologists. So
You're right.
I get it.
You're right.
So,
I'm open.
But I use psychology with my patients as well because I have to have them accept, their disability or their loss of independence. Or motivate them that, hey, hang in there.
That's beautiful.
Give it 3 more weeks. You will get back. Yeah. So we have to constantly be using psychology. Psychologists, that's another subject for a different thing. We're talking about, adapting to the environment that you're in right now, and it's very similar to what occupational therapists do.
You're absolutely right.
So,
and you guys do amazing things that it's just always have such great patience and kindness to be able to bring people that it becomes those incremental changes that become major hurdles that are so valuable. Teaching somebody who's lost the ability to use a fork the way that they did with somebody with Parkinson's, they want to maintain a level of independence, and then people like you, Norma, that come around and who are trained to train them how to have acceptance for where they are and be able to learn to use maybe another part of their body or to be able to accomplish other things.
Yeah,
it's
no,
beautiful.
it's great that you have that compassion, and your mother taught you at least that extra bit there, over these last few years. What territory do you serve primarily
I'm
here?
in the Tri-County area.
The Tri-County.
Yeah.
Palm Beach, Broward, Dade. And
I actually have a family now that I'm working with that's in Okeechobee, so I'll travel if I have to. One of the things that I do refer a lot out is Medicaid and helping people access Medicaid benefits.
And that's how you
other
know Shelby.
benefits. That's
who
what
was just here. Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's-
It's so vitally important that people are aware nobody in Florida should be suffering. There's too much, all right, there's never too much money, but there are solutions available.
And people may not know it.
Correct.
And people not know. And you're able to have that conversation and say, you know what, I think that this is what you need. And that's really good. And so, I love the theme of today's show is all very, very connected, which even if it's not connected, I still love it because I love community. But certainly we have a theme of, the seniors care tonight. And so we have the helping get financial benefits for your care, but now we're talking about once you have all the finances out of the way, now it's it is important. People get depressed.
Yeah.
They get confused, they get angry. There's a lot of issues, and you're saying that, I know that, having someone that just to sit and listen to talk to really can change your outlook on things and help that process. And you have to, it's like graduate to the next level of your life as far as acceptance, and then find peace in it.
Yeah. The reality is that if we don't look at the simple things in life as we age, like, getting recognizing our eyes don't work as well as they used to, and getting appropriate lighting, getting rid of the area rugs.
And therapy isn't always involved. Therapy isn't always involved to recognize these things.
But people trip and they fall because they simply can't see well. And then, as you know, that's not so easy to recover. And then I'm working on a project now to help reduce hospital readmissions, because then
that's a big project.
It's a big situation,
and that's very important, and that's another 10, 15 minute conversation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And basically the point is having someone in the home can actually reduce someone consulting and overseeing the care, because you live in New York or New Jersey, that you can reduce that hospital admission, and that's the bridge the gap that you're trying to fill, whether it be through home health or through someone like yourself. So if you're able to, invest in having someone to oversee it, you can have a better quality of life even at this stage. Yeah. Dr. Joy, how do we get a hold of you? What's your website, phone number, email, all that?
It's long.
Okay.
But my phone number is 954-328-2391. And my email address is info@drjoysenior solutions with an S.com.
Awesome. And so it is such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
You have a spirit that's very, very light and bright.
Oh, I appreciate
and
it.
I know that you probably do an amazing job at really, helping people. They must be like, I'm glad Joy's coming over, or Dr. Joy's coming over.
I hope so.
So
Thank
reach
you.
out to her. She can help you care for your family or for yourself if you're listening. So we'll be right back, and we will be back with Phil McKnight of Laser IQ Pain Therapy and Shivani Gupta of Fusionary Formulas. Hopefully they are out there. So we had a little trouble here with the schedule. So it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you, Norma.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
for everything you do.
My pleasure.
Are you ready for some awesome chefs-approved Mexican-inspired food? Then check out Los Bocados, where our number one rule is every bite will be the best bite. Chef Anthony Hoff and Chef Robbie Bushman prepare all items utilizing locally sourced and the healthiest ingredients. We do catered events, corporate lunches, complete family meals, and advanced ordering. Los Bocados is located at 7191 North State Road 7 in Parkland, inside the Chevron. For orders, call 954-637-4984, 954-637-4984, or check out losbocados.com.
Attention anyone who smokes, has a pet, or eats. If you're selling your car, boat, house, or move out of a rented apartment, we have your solution. Pristine Solutions is a new company that comes directly to your home, car, boat, office, or anywhere and eliminates odors from cigarettes, cigars, animals, food, and much more. A Pristine Solutions team member will take care of everything for you. Our chemical process breaks down and eliminates germs and bacteria that cause odors. Don't lose that security deposit because your pet had too many accidents or because you're a smoker. Call Pristine Solutions today. Call 561-299-5555 because these guys don't stink.
Are you looking for short-term inpatient rehabilitation or long-term care placement for yourself or a loved one after illness or injury? Whitehall Boca Raton Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility has served South Florida for over 35 years. With care and oversight from our experienced physicians, Whitehall Boca Raton offers specialized comprehensive nursing and rehab programs in neurological, orthopedic, cardiac, pulmonary, and post-operative surgical care and outpatient therapy provided by our highly experienced nurses and therapists. We accept Medicare and other major insurances. Call 561-392-3000.
Thank you for listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We're the place where we talk about your business, a product, an idea, or a project to get the word out to our community. I'm your host, occupational therapist Norma Guerrero. Today we are sharing our passions while connecting with our community. Give us a call at 888-565-1470 and join our conversation. Don't forget to tune in every Monday night at 5 to 6 p.m. to join me, Norma G, and our guests to find out about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Can't wait to see you there. Now let's rejoin the show. My advice? Yes.
I wore a colorful tie.
Yes. Welcome back to Community Connections with Norma G, and we are in the third segment of the show, and you are listening to us once again at 95.3 FM at 1470 AM, as well as you can watch us live on Facebook at Community Connections with Norma G. And so if you have any questions for our callers, we are going to be talking to Shivani Gupta, who is the founder and creator of Fusionary Formulas, which is a turmeric vitamin supplement line, and we're going to learn a little bit about that, as well as with Mr. Phil McKnight, who is the CEO of Laser IQ Pain Therapy. And the reason why I brought them here together today is I actually have already interviewed both of them in the past, over this past year, individually, and they both, Shivani's product line of Fusionary Formulas has a lot of anti-inflammatory and pain joint pain reduction properties to it. And Phil McKnight is offering, through his Laser IQ Pain Therapy, a non-invasive anti-inflammatory treatment, which is basically getting away from the opiates, getting away from painkillers, getting away from the narcotics that are messing up our bodies, affecting your balance, affecting your mindset and confusion. And so I brought them together, and we were all together this weekend at the successful senior aging conference in Fort Lauderdale. And tell me a little bit, first of all, hello.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
So nice to see you here. And I just want to, kind of talk a little bit about what you guys have been, doing together a little bit and what you thought of the conference this weekend.
Okay.
You want to go ahead?
Ladies first.
Okay. Well, the Successful Aging Expo was held by the Sun Sentinel at the Fort Lauderdale Convention Center. It was a great event. There were tons of wonderful speakers. And during our talk, we got to go over what are those alternatives for pain management that people have. So many people were there with their joint pain, their aches. They were in wheelchairs or in different situations, not as mobile as they'd like. And we were both there to educate them on some options. For me, I like to educate on turmeric and its benefits as a powerful anti-inflammatory, as a powerful antioxidant, and what it can do for the system. And we have regimens with Infusionary that can support people. And Phil spoke beautifully about all these opiates and these things that people are doing, and this alternative he has available right here in Boca for them.
And so the turmeric, what is the main property that turmeric has in it?
So turmeric is a spice from India, and many people have heard about it, and many people are utilizing it right now, but they're not utilizing it in the best way they can. So many are buying it fresh and juicing it in their green juice, or they're making a skinny latte and mixing turmeric in their milk. But really you need a healthy fat to absorb it in the body, or you need black pepper. And so what I'm sharing with people is, if you take a curcumin supplement, curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. We have over 6,000 studies that show the benefits of 500 milligrams of curcumin with 4 milligrams of bioperin, which is black pepper extract. So if you really want that reduction in inflammation, if that's what you're looking for, take it in the supplement form and get the right dosage, get what you need, and truly feel the relief that you're seeking.
And it's natural.
And it's natural. There's no harm.
And so what do you have that's in the inflammation relief specifically that tweaks it out off of just the turmeric gold?
So turmeric gold is one that a lot of people are taking as a preventive because it's a powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and we all know, no matter how healthy we are, that inflammation does wreak havoc on the system and cause a lot of downstream negative diseases that we don't want. But inflammation relief has other herbs in there that support dropping inflammation in the system. So when people specifically know that they have inflammation, they specifically take that one. It has boswellia, it has dried ginger, the black pepper again, and our very potent curcumin.
And when I connected the two of you together, the reason why I felt compelled to do so is because I know that through the laser IQ, you're providing pain relief as well through that, because again, it's non-invasive. And so what type of clients are you seeing, and what kind of benefits are they getting from the treatments that you're providing?
Right.
Phil.
So the reason we introduced the latest laser technology as an alternative to traditional pain management is that traditional pain management is very questionable in many ways, in that you're talking about prescription drugs, which have many, many, many very harmful side effects. You're talking about injections, nerve blocks, surgeries, which all tend to be pretty invasive. And for most people who are in chronic pain, these things tend to work for a while, and then after a while, they tend to start losing their effectiveness. In the case of the, opioid class, prescription drugs, you eventually get addicted and you lose the benefit. It's not unusual for, a patient who gets a prescription for, let's say, Percocet, who's become addicted to, in 2 or 3 days, use an entire 30-day supply.
Wow.
Well, the state of Florida has now passed legislation where it's not so easy to get those. And, at least once or twice a week, we've treated thousands and thousands of patients. And at least a couple times a week, we'll get people who book an appointment with us to come in and use laser pain therapy, to try to reduce inflammation. It's the same, type of, relief that you would expect with, some of the supplemental herbal, formulas and things of this sort. But then when we're finished treating, they say, can you write me a prescription, for Percocet? Of course, we don't do that. But, the laws are changing, the times are changing. There was an HBO special recently, about the opioid epidemic. You can go online and subscribe to it.
It already aired?
It's a serious, serious problem. 90 people per day are dying from, over-the-counter. We're not talking about street drugs. We're talking about over-the-counter prescribed drugs, where more than half of those drugs are prescribed by their primary care physicians. And it's a serious problem. So at the Successful Aging Conference, I chose that topic because, we're trying to create awareness. There is an alternative. I mean, we use very powerful class 4 lasers that not, mask the pain, okay? Most of the alternative traditional treatments mask the pain. They don't get rid of it. It is still there. But, with laser technology and with, some of the supplemental alternatives that are available to you, we actually reduce and in many cases can get rid of the inflammation. So, it is a viable alternative, and, I wanted to team up with Shivani.
Right. And
because it's complementary. In other words, what we do and what, and her line, for chronic conditions, the powerful lasers will kickstart the healing process, but we want the people, suffering from chronic pain to experience the relief, on an ongoing basis. So we offer, an in-home self-treatment device, kind of looks like a heating pad, and,
Turn it on?
I can turn it on. Well, I thought
Does it work?
Well, should work, but battery's dead.
Well, usually it has all
usually
Let me, can I
works.
see it? Can I see it?
Sure.
So basically, this is a home unit that when I was at the conference and I heard your lecture, there was one that even potentially going to come out and slide on the
Right.
wrist. You can wrap this around, put this on your back. Oops,
Right.
sorry.
Yep.
You put this on your back.
Right.
Wrap it around your knee. And how long do you keep it on?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
And this is something that people, what does something like this cost?
That runs right around $400. The treatments in our treatment center, using this is a fairly low dosage. The lasers that we use in the treatment centers are very, very powerful, and they're about $70 per treatment. So we try to keep it affordable for people. But when we are treating, we can only treat a couple times a week. So if they can use the M-Home device,
take it.
use and we believe that the fusionary formula products are best of class in the industry.
Right.
I mean there's a lot of supplements out there, but these we've really looked at the formulas very, very carefully, and when you combine the in-home self-treatment along with the fusionary formulas, we think people are going to get best results.
Reduce the pain. And what I think is also important to note that certainly you were very specific. Even the name of your company, Laser IQ Pain Therapy, very specific. Your goal is to try and reduce people's pain. Knowing Shivani, the turmeric, the properties also is that they have antioxidant properties, which is overall generalized, health and wellness, well-being. Right. And so not only are you going to potentially be able to reduce your pain through utilizing these supplements, it's more than just reducing your pain. It's your overall health. Absolutely. It's your mental clarity. It's your digestive system. It's your sleep. Absolutely. It's all of those. It's your energy, your exercise. So this isn't solely about pain management. This is about a holistic treatment of trying to get away from synthetic type of quick fixes of how to take care of things, but looking at how we take care of ourselves. And so, as I mentioned the other day at the conference, what I find fascinating that is you have to look at your overall whole health, not just my knee hurts. Yep. My knee hurts. That's what'll get you in the door. Right. But once you reach out and consult with either Shivani or Phil, they're going to look at your whole body, because these are holistic type. How do I want to use it? Say
modalities.
Modalities or practitioners, are providing services from a holistic point of view, not really solely just pain management. They're going to look at the whole mind, body, spirit aspect. And that's why I found the two of you very fascinating, and wanted to introduce the two of you, because I did feel there was a great complement there. And I hope that, moving forward, we can continue to get this information out to people, because I think it's so important, because I love doing the therapy. Certainly a painkiller is definitely needed at the right time. But as far as long-term management of conditions, we got to come up with some alternative ways. And I'd like to, offer this to people and see that. So I think it's awesome. Shivani, how do we get a hold of you if someone wants to purchase how much is a bottle of your supplements?
Sure. So these are typically $30 or $40 each, and we're doing a special promo code tonight. It's going to be Norma G for this whole week, and people will get $10 off.
You know what? Say that right into the camera.
If you use the code Norma G, you'll get $10 off any regimen that you order off of our website.
And where's your website? Yeah.
The website is www.fusionaryformulas.com, or you can call 844-64-FUSION.
Okay, great, fantastic. And you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we're on all the social media.
Everything?
We are happily sharing all the time on turmeric, its benefits, and we don't want anyone suffering from sugar cravings, from stress impacting their system, from inflammation in the system, antioxidants. Our goal is really to educate people on optimal health and longevity, and how can Ayurveda and these spices and herbs that we've used really support them in the long haul.
Yeah, and I know your website helps break down individually each what one of your supplements has, and so it's a very, very good read, and there's a lot of education there. And Phil, how do we get a hold if someone wants to come try out the laser therapy,
Sure.
on their neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain? How do we find you?
Sure. Okay. We have two ways. One way, you can call 1-844-LASER-IQ, or you can go to our website, which is laseriqpaintherapy.com. Either way, you can reach us, and we too are running a show special.
What was that?
No code needed. Just mention Norma G, and it's $50 off either initial consultation or purchase of the in-home self-treatment device. So
the website number?
The website is, again, laseriqpaintherapy.com. The 800 number is 844-LASER-IQ.
Well, we got a lot of promos coming out of this show tonight. I didn't know that, and so I'm happy to hear that. And so, I'm excited because I definitely think that taking those narcotics affects balance. I've heard many people say they get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom because they took one and they were a little bit groggy and they trip and fell. Now they have a hip replacement. And they were taking it just because they had some back pain or they had some shoulder pain. And so I want to prevent, prevention is key. And as an occupational therapist, I'm always looking at home safety and those aspects. And so if you're in pain and you want to be able to bend over and reach better, give these guys a call and see what they can do to help you. And so thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Phil, for coming in and sharing what you guys are doing. I wish you continued best with everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will see you next week back at Community Connections. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye. You've been listening to Community Connections with Norma G. We will be back next Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. with new guests to share about what's hot, what's new, and what's happening in our community. Did you hear something you liked today on our show? Please contact me, Norma G, at 954-802-2015 or email me at ccnormag@gmail.com. I look forward to helping you expand your business, project, or idea and connect with our community.
The opinions expressed on